Okay, hello. Today I'll be doing the first part of my Chapter 4 test. I chose to do problem 4. So, here it is. So, the first question is, does the parabola face up or down? So, how you're going to figure that out, you're going to look at your A value. So, this is your A value, your B value, and then your C value would be here, but there's nothing there, so our C value would just be plus 0. So nothing in this case. So you're going to look at your A value, and if it's greater than 0, then you know that the parabola faces up, and if it's less than 0, it faces down, so ours is greater than 0, so we know that the parabola faces up. For question 2, what is the vertex? We have to use the equation of negative b over 2a. So once again, this is b, and this is a, so we're going to take the opposite of b, so that would be negative 12 over 2 times 3. So that's here. And then to simplify that down further is negative 12 over 6. And then one more step brings you to negative 2, but that's just our x value. So to find the full vertex, we're going to have to plug our x value in for all of the x's here. And you can do that on your calculator as long as you put parentheses around each of them, just so that the calculator knows that they're separate. So we can go ahead and see what that equals. So that equals minus 12, so we know that that's going to be our y value. So that is our vertex. Next is the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, obviously all the x's are going to have to equal 0, so that it's along the vertical y-axis on the graph and not anywhere across on the x-axis. So you can just plug that in, and since it's all multiplication, you know that your product is going to come out to be 0, which means that your vertex or your y-intercept is actually going to be 0, 0 at the origin. Alright, next page. So we have the problem again. We need to make a table of values until we can see what the solutions are. So our table of values, here I've done it here. So this was our vertex. So we want to put that in the middle, and then we can go up and down to figure out which x values go to the y values of 0. But since we found our y-intercept and that was 0, 0, that means the x is also at 0. So we know that the x is at 0, which is plus 2, so then minus 2 is negative 4. And then we know that these are going to have to be our solutions. Minus 4, 0, and then 0, 0. And then we need to graph it, so that's going to be on the next page. Alright, so here's the graph. Obviously you're going to want to do your vertex because that's going to be the bottom. So I went across 2 and down 12, and that's the vertex. And then I did both of the x-intercepts. This one, that also happens to be the y-intercept. And then you just kind of connect it like a U. Do the arrows. And then that's your graph, that's your parabola, since it matches up on all of those solutions that you had before. So then, does it have a minimum or maximum? So if the graph is facing up, like ours, it's always going to have a minimum value, because there's like a lowest value, and then it just goes on forever after that. If it's facing down, then there's going to be a maximum value for this value for the same reasons as the minimum value. So we know that's minimum. And then for the domain and range, on parabolas, your domain is always all real numbers, because it's always going out in directions, and since it goes on for infinity, it's going to reach every number sooner or later. And then the range is what we have to pay attention to. So if you recall on the graph, the y value went as low as negative 12, so we know that it goes all the way up till infinity after minus 12, so that means y has to be greater than or equal to -12. Alright, that's my video of how to do question 4 for part 1 of the test. Thank you.